episode 2 of The Power of Google. We're going to be trying to look into the racism of Trump again. And we're going to try to find, I don't know, some kind of evidence of it. Maybe some policies. Trump's racist policies. Trump racist remarks. In context. And then Trump's racist to Trump is racist. Okay, let's look here. Okay, there's this public charge policy. I'll check that out. And let's see. Trump administration's record of racism. Perfect. Trump's racist policies in 2019. Okay, I'll check that out. All right. Cool. Let's check these out. So, our parents are not criminals. Okay. Public charge immigration policy. The Trump administration announced new restrictions on whether immigrants can enter and remain in the United States by changing the definition of public charge, i.e. those who depend on financial government assistance. The new rules, scheduled to take effect in mid-October, will penalize immigrants who access public benefits such as Medicaid and food stamps by making them ineligible for green cards. Okay. I mean, I don't see what's necessarily racist about that. Immigrants come here illegally. That's illegal, right? If I do something illegal, if anybody watching this does something illegal, you know, you go through the proper channels. I'm not saying that I can't empathize, you know, if there's like refugees that come here and stuff, but it still doesn't make it legal, you know. We're not the only country. They can go to any other country. It's just this is how the shit works here in the U.S. I don't see why this is racist particularly, because it's all immigrants. I mean, someone could fucking come from Europe if they wanted, and it would still apply. You know, this has nothing to do with race. This just has to do with immigrants, and immigrants are not of one particular race. That's very odd. Okay. Anyway, Trump's administration's record of racism. The first 200 plus documented examples. Let's check this out. Hopefully we find some good stuff here. Okay, so he stocked his administration with staff who had personal and professional track records of hostility towards people of color. I mean, that doesn't particularly make him racist. That makes the people he's hiring racist. Doesn't inherently make him racist. But, you know, it doesn't look good. Okay. Alright. Okay, he said we must protect our borders from the ravages of other countries making our products, stealing our companies, and destroying our jobs. I don't see any. There's nothing explicitly racist about that. On crime and gangs, at the center of this movement is a crucial conviction. Blah blah blah. Okay. He inaccurately ties it to immigration. Where does he tie it to? The crime and gangs and the drugs that have stolen so many lives and robbed our country of so much unrealized potential. Wait. What? Where does he tie this to immigration? I don't see him tying this to immigration. He just says, and the crime and the gangs and the drugs that have stolen too many lives. He doesn't particularly tie this to immigration, so I'm a little bit confused about that. Okay, we reinforce old alliances and form new ones and unite the civilized world against radical Islamic terrorism, which we eradicate from the face of the earth. Okay, um, I think people are misunderstanding this because that's literally terrorism. Like, he, he's not saying we're gonna unite the civilized world against Muslims. He's literally saying radical Islamic terrorism, right? The people watching this, the people listening to this, do you guys want there to be terrorism? I don't understand why you would have a problem with this statement. He wants to get rid of terrorism. Okay, I can see how someone could make the leap that he's saying that anybody who's Muslim is a terrorist, but that's a humongous leap to make from saying that he wants to unite the civilized world against radical Islamic terrorism. That'd be like if I said, if I were making a speech and I said, I want to unite this country against black gang violence in the inner cities, and then everyone leaps to the conclusion that I'm racist towards black people and I want to get rid of black people. That's not what he's saying. He's saying he wants to get rid of terrorism. Anyway, okay. So far, none of this seems particularly racist. I'm a little confused. Um, okay. He changed the painting. He replaced the painting. And I don't care what the first painting was or what the second painting was. That's not inherently racist. Okay. He called the construction of a wall along the border with Mexico. That's not racist. He's just trying to keep illegal immigrants out. Is it the best way? Is it the smartest way? No, I don't think building a huge wall is gonna deter particularly. Plus, it's gonna be it'd be super expensive. I'm sure there's better ways to secure the border. Um, and then he prioritizes the deportation of individuals who pose a risk to public safety or national security. Well, why don't we check that out? Um, this show? Immigration and crime in the US. Okay, so about 4 to 7% of people in jail are non-citizens. Okay, like an abstract or something? Because 4 to 7% is not super high, but it's still pretty high. Not sure, particularly. That's a little bit too long for me to read right now on this. I don't want to waste time. Um, all right. Um, wait. So what else? All right. Crime. Wait, what? What kind of a leap is this? When President Obama was in Chicago 2 weeks ago making a speech, very nice speech. Okay, so he compliments a speech. Then two people were shot and killed during his speech. You can't have that. They weren't shot at the speech, but they were shot in the city of Chicago during his speech. This quote continues a trio of threads Trump sustains on the topic of crime. First, he lays into the United States' first black president, implying that Barack Obama failed to deliver in his job. What? Where does he say that in this? He says that President Obama was in Chicago and he was making a very nice speech. And this person is saying this quote continues a thread on Trump, blah, blah, blah. He lays into the United States' first black president, implying that Barack Obama failed to deliver in his job. I'm not sure how that connects, but okay. Then a stereotype against black people which Trump reportedly embraced in the past. What? Nowhere here is race mentioned. I don't understand. People make such leaps and bounds. You know, I feel like Trump gets taken out of context, and so people like he might be racist. I'm not gonna say that he's not racist because I have no fucking idea. He might be racist. He might not be racially sensitive. I can definitely agree that he's not particularly racially sensitive, right? He might say some things that are inflammatory. Whether or not he's racist, I mean, you'd have to show me some sort of policy that he implemented that was inherently racist, where your race determines what happens to you, not what you've done. And in that case, I'll be like, okay, I understand, but I haven't been able to see that yet. So let me look here. And I feel like once people view him as racially insensitive or people view him as racist, they take his words and find any way to paint them as racist. Like I'm sure people watching this later will find any reason to label me as racist because they're gonna be like, you're defending Trump. I'm not, all right? I have no position. I'm going through these articles and trying to determine objectively from a neutral perspective as someone who does not vote, is not politically inclined, and does not really care where this stands, because all I hear is controversy about Trump. So I'm trying to figure stuff out. Oh my god, again, people keep referencing the same quotes. Make America great again. I don't see anything wrong with that. Referring to unwanted immigrants' homelands as shithole countries. People are just not okay with hearing things so brutally, I guess. Because again, I'm from El Salvador. Well, my mom is, and I've been there plenty of times, and it kind of is a shithole country. So I don't know what to tell you. Like many people agree that this is the that America is the best place to live on the planet, except some, European countries. All right. So, he reformed immigration law. What? In 2019, lawmakers and Trump administration officials who are advocates for ever more restrictive immigration policies would not say out loud, and possibly not even to themselves, that their aim is to preserve the racial composition of America. But there can be no doubt that, consciously or not, that is exactly what they want to achieve. Is this person really saying that lawmakers and the Trump administration are trying to keep America white? Why can't people understand that they don't have a problem with legal immigration? People who come in legally. They have a problem with people who come in illegally, right? There's a big difference between that. I'm very confused. I don't understand how they made that leap. That they want to keep it. They want to keep America white. They want to preserve the racial composition of America. And I love how they say, but there can be no doubt. Yeah, there can be doubt. What do you mean? There can be doubt on everything. All right, I'm doubting this article by reading it. Like, what? All right. All right. So in the past, they linked immigrants and terrorists, and supposedly Trump did that, but I don't really see where. Candidate Trump's 2016 proposal to ban Muslims. A dozen times. Okay. Hmm. He proposed to ban all Muslims from entering the U.S. Okay. There we go. We finally arrived at something that I would say is particularly racist. You know, I'm actually not particularly informed on that in terms of. Yeah, that's a little bit different though. That's actually not racist. That's like religionist because that's not a specific race. That actually, never mind. That's still not racist. That's like religionist. I don't know what that's called. Discriminating against religion or religious discrimination. What? All right, I guess there's no word for it, but so religious discrimination is what this is. This isn't racism. Muslim is not a race. So a Muslim ban is banning a specific religion. That's a completely different thing. So that's still not racist.
It's a scam.
Okay. Um, super racist immigration policies. I still have yet to find these super racist immigration policies that all these people are speaking of. Muslim ban. Muslim ban isn't racist. It's religious discrimination. I definitely think that's not okay, but it's religious discrimination. It's not racism. Concentration camps. What concentration camps? What the fuck? So, all right, I'm extremely confused now. All right, look, I could probably keep going into were Trump's racist tweets racist? What? Some news outlets won't say. Um, Minority ethnic Democratic congressman urging them to go back to the totally broken and crime-infested places from which they supposedly came. Crime rates U.S. to other countries. Well, here is a violent crime murder rate. Let's say just specifically murder rate. The U.S. is 14th. Brazil, India, Mexico. Oh, look, Mexico, the third one in the list. So maybe even though he's not what's it called? He maybe isn't being sensitive by telling whoever they were telling to go to their totally broken and crime infested place. I mean, 14th still isn't that good, right? There's plenty below, right? And we're only looking at murder right now. But Mexico, which is what I find Trump has spoken on the most, according to all this stuff that I'm looking at, is the third. So I'm not 100% sure that it's fair. Also, you have to understand that the US has a very high population. compared to a lot of these other ones. But anyway, um, there are a lot of these countries are crime ridden, right? So it's not necessarily fair, or not fair. It's not necessarily nice for him to say that, right? But there's not necessarily it's not racist, right? I don't find that racist, so that's kind of odd because by definition, right? Let's use Google. Prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed towards someone of a different race based on the belief that one's own race is superior. So I don't know how that's discriminatory or prejudice against Trump. I mean, sorry, against that lady that he was telling to go back, right? That doesn't particularly make sense to me. So I'm gonna conclude this. I don't really want to do more research into this. I feel like if I go any further or delve any deeper than I have already, which it's been very difficult to be honest. I thought it would be easy. All these people are yelling around that Trump is racist. I thought it'd be easy. I thought somebody would outline, like there would be some kind of document outlined with Trump's racist stuff and all the context of where when he said it, where he said it, or something. And no, it's just a bunch of really shitty articles. I mean, both ways. A bunch of really shitty articles on all these different sites, saying, "Oh well, when Trump said blah 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 blah," completely out of context. Like I don't have any context of the paragraph or anything. It's literally like one small tidbit, you know. Um, it's confusing, right? And I definitely think I'm gonna end this by saying my opinion of Trump from what I've heard and the very little that I've seen of him. I think he is inflammatory. I think he is not at all like what's it called? He's not sensitive. He has no tact. So he'll say things blatantly, not realizing that other people will get offended by or be hurt by emotionally by some of the things that he says, or that they'll find some of the things he says offensive, etc., etc. I definitely think he is in that way inflammatory, incendiary. He's rude to a degree, right? Because I don't think it's nice to tell someone go back to the totally broken and crime infested places that you came from. Now, of course, I don't have the exact fucking uh link to this. I didn't see him say that. I don't have the full context, but I'm gonna trust this article that it's saying the right thing. Um, I don't think that's particularly nice. However, in these 20-minute sections of trying to find racist examples, I really haven't found something inherently racist. I found religious discrimination. I found very offensive things that he said that have no tact, but explicitly racist. All I saw were leaps and bounds from people, like his comment on Obama's speech. He actually complimented Obama's speech, and the next line is the article tearing it apart for him being racist. And I'm like, I'm a little confused about that. So, with that, I want to conclude this because I don't want to spend every episode researching this. My advice to anybody would be to look into it yourself, because when you start digging, you really see that maybe things aren't the way it was painted out to be. For the amount with the amount of authority that people tell me Trump is racist, I would imagine that like someone would have brought something up, or Google would have shown me something that inherently indicates that Trump is severely racist, or some racist policy that he put in. His immigration ban doesn't seem to be racist. It's not determined by race. You could be a white European immigrant, right? And he'll still turn you away at the border. Like that's his intention. Nobody, it doesn't matter if they're white or not, right? Europeans are white, and the immigration policy still discriminates against them. So that's not inherently racist. Um, and we could go into a whole philosophical debate about, does it really matter if Trump is racist as long as he doesn't uh, implement inherently racist policies? Like, obviously, if he were to be like, yeah, black people can't vote anymore, new policy, right? And he tries to implement that. Of course, that's a racist policy, and he shouldn't be allowed to implement it, right? Um, the thing is that the way it works in the U.S. is not like he can implement whatever policy he wants. You know, there's a bunch of checks and balances for his power that don't allow him to just implement whatever the hell he wants. And even with that, he hasn't implemented anything that's inherently racist, according to what I just researched in the past 2 days. And I recommend anybody just look into it yourself, because people are inherently believing everything that they hear from others, and I think that's a very dangerous road to go down, because you'll end up not really knowing the truth or the facts about a situation. So my end conclusion, as if this is like a Mythbusters episode, right? Um, I'm gonna say that it's plausible, right? There's confirmed and denied. I'm gonna say it's plausible. It's plausible that Trump could be racist, right? Because some of the things that he says and some of the things that he's done, there's a chance he could internally be racist, right? But as far as implementing racist policies, I don't see any evidence of it. So that's my conclusion there. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see what other controversial topics I can research on the next episodes. Peace out. Have a wonderful day.